Hello, this is Eve Christoph, your love life coach, and I'm here tonight to speak to you about subjective knowing versus objective knowing. So I want you to trust yourself when you have an instinctual understanding of something. I want you to be able to stand there with somebody who is trying to talk you out of your truth and just be able to say, I trust myself. I trust my feeling level. In my bones, in my gut, in my heart, I know things, and that's enough for me to know where I stand at the moment. I will research more later, but for now, I'm following my gut. Here's a couple of interesting examples to get you thinking about this. We're really living in a society that's very based on objectivity and surveys and the sort of things that are supposed to prove the truth. But you know things, you know very many things, and there's no way to prove them. For example, my little baby at one point was bitten by a tick, and she developed one of those big red marks, a big circle around the bite. So I took her to the hospital and got her the amoxicillin that she had to take. But very shortly, she was showing terrifying signs that the amoxicillin was really, really dangerous for her. This was like 16 years ago or so. So in those days, I don't know if they had as much research out or not, but she turned blue, she had red patches all over her, and her teeth were starting to go dark. It just seemed like impossible that this could be going on for her, that from a medicine. So I brought her to the hospital and I said, I'm terrified. I don't know what's going on with her, but I think it's the amoxicillin. And they said, oh, no, it's not the amoxicillin, because we've done studies and surveys and it doesn't cause that. So it's just something else. So continue with that round another 5 days. It had only been 3 days and she was about to die. This is a tiny, tiny little baby. So I took her home and I took her right off that medicine, and all of her signs went away within hours. And the other woman I know who went through something similar with the amoxicillin in her baby, both our children when they were really little had their teeth go dark and lost most of their teeth. Luckily you get another set of teeth. She's got beautiful teeth now. But this was a case of my instinctual knowing saving my daughter's life. And I'm sure you've had countless times like that, and you've been angry when you needed support to save somebody or save yourself. Here's an example about saving yourself, and this is really important to really think about. My daughter and her friends went to a self-defense program at their high school. And these wonderful cops did this incredible thing where they trained all these girls in how to really, really fight. And that in the end, the men were wearing big, huge suits of padding to protect themselves. And they were really convincing the girls, go at it. You've got to knock us down completely. You've got to completely be able to dominate us. And they were really big men. And I watched their final initiation where every single tiny, spindly girl was able to knock down the cop. But in the end, after they had learned all of these intense ways to protect themselves physically, what the policeman said to them really stuck with me. He said, I just want you to realize your biggest self-defense is your woman's intuition. You feel something's wrong, you're probably right, and you should get out of there before anything happens. So let's start to really honor that about ourselves. We have other parts of our being, and men too, your men's intuition, that is really active at all times, that understands things on multiple levels. Tonight, I'm feeling the power of Hillary Clinton acting upon me, and my instinctual center says, this is a really good woman who's working incredibly hard for all of us, despite any other propaganda coming at me. I'm just intuitively feeling like this is the woman for me. And then there's all this grounded information about her life and her work and her agenda and her speeches that ground that in objective understanding. But then you have Trump, who's somebody who is wildly, flamboyantly about his subjectivity. So here's the unhealthy way about being subjective understanding. That's when you don't really care if it's based on anything that's factual, and this can get into paranoia, and it can get into a bunch of conspiracy theories and all kinds of things when you just let your subjective, fears take over. So subjective knowing is different than subjective fear and terror. So you're going to be guided by fear and terror along the way. That's just a protection mechanism that you were born with, thank God. But don't get carried away with what I'm saying without also tempering your life with understanding the facts and fact-checking with what your intuition is, if you can. And if you can't, and you're in a situation where you just need to make a quick decision, you really do know things, and you don't have to prove it. You just act upon it. You've got to act upon it. That's all you can do. So if you would like some love life coaching, I'm here for you. You can connect with me at my links below this video. Blessings. Love life.